I'm here today actually initially to drive this D-Type, which is a remarkable car. I've driven a few D-Types before. I've never driven this one before, so I'll probably stall it and make a fool of myself. But I'm here to drive this just for the initial lap. After that, I'm afraid I'm purely a passenger in various other cars with some very competent drivers. I'm really looking forward to that.
This is a 1961 Ferrari 250 short wheelbase, but it's the actual last version of a 250 short wheelbases. It's called a CFAC hot rod, which is really the most powerful, the lightest and most developed of all the short wheelbases. There are about 22 of them, and then the next on the list would have come the GTOs the following year. My car was delivered to Le Mans for Sterling Moss and Graham Hill to race, and they went out and they got the lap record and were, after 9 hours, 4 laps ahead of the next GT car, and that was without the sports prototypes dropping out, so the car really was going incredibly well. But thereafter, Sterling raced another 5 races with it, won them all. He describes it as the best GT car ever. I mean, he loved the car, and he just was immensely successful. As a matter of fact, one could actually say that with Sterling Moss, not Clyde Beecham, behind the wheel, this car was the fastest car, GT car in the world in 1961.
I was asked yesterday, pretty much last minute. A friend of mine was sent his Ferrari down, and he couldn't do the event, so he said, "Would you mind going to Goodwood, driving my F50 for a great event?" There was only one answer, wasn't there?
How far did you have to come?
Only from Beaconsfield, so it wasn't too bad, and I got through the M25 this morning before the traffic. What brings you here?
Well, I was asked also, would I like to do something for Wings for Life, was what I heard it was to do with, but there's other charities involved, and I thought it's very easy for me to do. It's a nice day. I didn't know the weather was going to be like this, it's absolutely amazing, but I was asked, I thought, yeah, it's easy enough, as long as we don't go fast, because I'm not into going that fast.
Yeah, right. That's the problem. We've got a bunch of racing drivers that have given us a speed limit and a noise limit, so no.
I think the noise limit is going to be tricky, but it's great. It's a great turnout, and it's going to be fun. Take people around laps, people who haven't had any experience of these cars. I haven't had any experience of this car. This car's won them. Oh, they didn't win Le Mans, but Roy Salvadori, my dad, Moss, people drove these cars. They're beautiful pieces of equipment.
DB3S?
DB3S, I was told, and it must be worth, I don't know, many millions.
It's definitely worth more than we've got in our pockets. Yeah, it's got to be worth a few £1 million. But there's a D-Type there, there's short wheelbase, 2 short wheelbase I can see. It's a Speedster. There's all kinds of beautiful stuff. So just as a car fan, it's great.
That's a Rob Walker Ferrari. I don't know what the number is, but it's the one that Moss won the Tourist Trophy here.
Is that the one that he turned the radio on to hear the commentary when he was blasting around?
I haven't heard that story, but it sounds good. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking car, isn't it?
It is stunning. Just as a car fan to come here is amazing anyway. But for such a good cause, what better way to spend a day? And
it's odd to think I've been coming here since I was born, and I used to come here. These pits have not changed; they're exactly as they were, pretty much, with liquor paint since early 50s, and it's a great thing that Charles March has done here at Goodwood. It's brilliant.
What's the quote, the Salvadori quote? Give me Goodwood on a summer's day and you can keep the rest of the world. Yeah.
It is special place. We're very lucky.
Good morning. Well, today we brought a 1958 Porsche Speedster. It's no normal Speedster. This is a very famous Speedster, which was one of the best-known Speedsters racing on the west coast of America between 1957 and 1963. It was hot-rodded and customized over there. It's still running its original engine, all its lovely original paint and original trim. And it's actually the first time it's been on the Goodwood track, so that's exciting. We've also brought here our Kinrara Trophy Jaguar E-Type. This has been prepared to pre-1963 specification, still running in its original guards red with black hardtop. That car knows its way around Goodwood. It's a very, very competitive car here in the what's referred to as the most valuable grid here at Goodwood in the Goodwood revival, which is the Kinrara Trophy.
I was asked to come along today because the idea was to introduce a few people, the members of the public, to classic and historic cars. And we thought it would be much more fun. Everybody's used to going in an E-Type Jag or a Ferrari. We thought it would be much more fun to be a bit more extreme and go for a wild ride, take these people for a wild ride. To me, it's fairly normal. I think everybody's level of normality is different levels. But to me, it was great fun to come along to introduce people to what Edwardian cars are like, Edwardian racing cars are like. And people think Edwardian racing cars are slow. They think they're sort of, they're unreliable, and it's really nice to come along to show that this car is actually faster than an awful lot of the cars here. In its day, it's a 1911 Fiat. 1911 Fiat S76. In its day, it was the fastest thing on the planet. There was nothing fast. It was twice as fast as the fastest aeroplane, and you couldn't fall off the world's tallest structure and go faster before you hit the ground than you could sitting in that car. And I think it was nice if you forget everything that came later, and if imagine somebody came to you today and said, I've got a car outside that will go twice as fast as the fastest aeroplane today. You say, well, I'm not going to hear that. You must be crazy. Back in 1911, this thing did 140 miles an hour, and they didn't think you could breathe above 30. So it was so extreme in its day. And it's lovely to bring it out on a day like today in the sunshine at Goodwood, and I think share that experience with people who have no idea what early cars are like.
The ride of a lifetime. And I don't know how fast we were going, actually, but it felt like 1,000 miles an hour. It was wonderful.
Got that smile upon my face, 'cause there's excitement in the chase, this I know. Yeah, I'm going for the ride and find myself, I am alive, and I soar. Still I run towards the wind and let the challenge draw me in, 'cause I want more. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for.
It's been a lovely day, as we started out by saying. The weather's helped enormously, so everyone's enjoying themselves. And my car has just developed some sort of misfire, so we don't know what that is yet. But up until then, everything was going perfectly. Dad drove it, and Sterling Moss, and I think Roy Salvadori, and some people like that. So it's got history, definitely been used. It looks brand new, but it's been incredibly well restored. Every time I do this, I just think, my God, they must have been so brave, because these cars are fantastic devices, but there's not much in the way of safety, and you can feel how they feel heavy, So. And the tracks in those days were not, they didn't have the safety features they have even now here at Goodwood. So you just have enormous admiration for their abilities and their courage.
Yeah, we are all